Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Mike. I'm studying data science at U Chicago. I was a failed tax accountant who struggled hard to survive in the accounting world, but later then successfully transitioned myself into data science. I'm using my channel to keep track of my experience, thought, and reflection in my life. Today I'm going to talk about how I learned data science related skills and then become more and more competitive in the job market. Assume that you did not encounter too much tech or STEM-driven education during your undergrad school, but you want to pivot your career into this hot, star-rising data science analytic software engineer field. While connecting back to my own experience, there are 5 sources of education I will go over today, which is self-learning online resources, community college, bootcamp, master degrees, or learn from your job. I personally had experience learning from all of them to get where I am right now. I'm going to go through them one by one and point out their pros and cons. But remember, all of those resources or forms of study are just not exclusive from each other. Sometimes a person may need some of them or all of them to work out for your own learning patterns. Because personally, I find all of them very useful during different phases of my own study, while I'm learning to become a data scientist from scratch. I started self-learning online resources such as reading relevant textbooks, taking coding and analysis practice, and courses from websites such as Bootcamp, Coursera, Udemy, Udacity. Those are definitely great resources for flexible study, and you have the freedom to explore different tools that you want to learn, different programming languages that you want to dive into. And I also love the fact that I was getting so many certificates from Coursera issued by universities such as UPenn, Duke, UIUC, and those big name schools. But I feel that I started to hit that ceilings or intake of knowledge really soon, since it's very hard to learn the field systematically, purely from online resources. And I started to feel that lack of fundamental knowledges. When I started to learn a machine learning related topic, like I was copying and paste the code or following step-by-step instructions provided by the instructors without understanding the in-depth conceptual knowledges. But one of the biggest pro here is that it is very cost-friendly. You get to control your budget on the courses that you can purchase and progress at your own pace. At the same time, those courses will allow you to put up different small projects together, which you can use to fill up the blanks of your resume when you're looking for jobs. After half a year of self-learning online, I started Northwestern University's Data Science Bootcamp. It is a bootcamp certificate program under Unused School of Professional Study at its downtown campus. To be honest, I took this bootcamp because I did feel that the ceiling I had reached by only self-studying online resources without too many guidances for myself. And UN is a top school in the US for its reputation. This bootcamp is like a 6-month part-time study program, so it is not too intense for me as a beginner. And it did charge less money when I compare to the rest of the bootcamp out there in the market in the Chicago area. So for those reasons, I decided to use my last semesters of my undergrad school tuition fund to invest in this bootcamp program due to my early graduation from my accounting degree, which is one of the best decisions I've ever made. I finally paid a total of $9,000 for this bootcamp with a $1,000 waived. This bootcamp gave me that more intense learning and competitive environment to focus on getting progress on my coding, data visualization, analytical skills, so I can break into this field much faster. However, the bootcamp is not here to help you to build a good fundamental. They instead teach you only the essential skills such as Python, some backend or front-end web-based technologies, Tableau, Excel, web spidering, data analysis, database technologies, NoSQL technologies, and a little bit machine learning modeling skills. Those skills surely help students to adapt to the fast-changing job market, but I still feel that lack of conceptual fundamental knowledges. However, at the end of the day, the best thing about my bootcamp experience is that I made some awesome friends. I had my GitHub repo full of projects to showcase my skills to employers. And I got my first analytics-related jobs, which is data engineering position at one of the biggest marketing research retail CPG consulting company. During my first job as data engineer and my second job as a business intelligence engineer, I enrolled in community college classes to learn more about database statistics, calculus, linear algebra, object-oriented programming, basic machine learning courses. Community college is like much cheaper than the actual university, and you do get the guidances from the actual professors or instructors. The courses are a little bit outdated, however, compared to the online resources or the boot camps. But it gave me more structured environment to build my fundamentals in coding, database, mathematics knowledges, which are so important to help me to understand more advanced knowledge in machine learning later. So let's talk about the huge benefit that I gained from attending community colleges. In terms of price, I paid $170 to $270 a course, and I get actual college credit and a great GPA record. Because I know I wanted to do a master's degree, I got 2 letters of recommendation from my community college professors, whom I'm still super grateful to since it boosted my chance to get into UChicago later. I got my second business intelligence engineering job offer with the skills I learned from one of the classes I took from my community college. One of the other benefits I gained from attending City College of Chicago is from its internal job recommendation program. I was able to get an apprenticeship offer, which is like a longer internship in data science consulting from one of the biggest tech consulting firm, Accenture. Through their internal email job recommendation, I applied to Accenture data science consulting team, and I was able to score the offer. At that time, I was very happy with my data engineering job, and I wanted to look for other new opportunities in the job market. So I was very glad that Accenture took the chance on me. However, unfortunately, the job at the time just didn't work out for my career track, so I quit and joined a digital marketing firm as a business intelligence engineer. I'll talk about this experience in the future in a separate video. Getting a master's degree is one of the most sought out way to create your own career pivot. As an Asian who naturally consider grad school as one of my must-do items in my list, of course I'm pursuing my master's degree right now. Cliche, right? But an expensive master's degree with a school like UChicago is definitely a magical place that's full of resources since it's one of the best universities in the world. But if you can afford and have a plan to afford a master's degree, this is the most comprehensive way to learn data science. A review of my experience on data science master program with UChicago is covered in a separate video. So to simply touch on it, in my master degree learning phase, there's of course more of the structured learning procedures covering from fundamentals to advanced knowledges designed for students to fully immerse into the more authoritative teaching and academic ideologies mixing with real-life practice. However, to speak in general, there are cheaper options to go to graduate school such as public college for in-state tuition, or you can apply for tons of fellowship or scholarship to cover your cost. But at the end of the day, getting a master in data science is not gonna be a casual, cheap option for everybody, since on top of the money that you're spending, you have to invest a lot of your own time to hustle. I will talk about how to milk the most out of your graduate program in a separate video. Learning data science from your job or actual project will be the ultimate resources of progression in your data science career. If you ask for 10 real data scientists out there, 99% of them will tell them that, learn data science through actual project, through your job, is the way to go. That is correct. I have been educated so much on my analytical skills through my past jobs, because during those jobs, I get to really apply what I learned from any academic courses I took into a real-life project that matter to the business operations and make impact at your company or the real world. The only shortcoming of depending on a job to practice your data science skill is that you might get limited by the data that you have, you get limited by the business question that you're solving, or you're assigned with a bunch of other stuff that suffocates you. You can barely have the time to practice the actual data analysis or data science related skill. So in that way, if you want to practice, here's when you're referring to the formal method I just covered, and then really dive into them on your own time. And this may or may not be appropriate to say, but I'm gonna say anyway, because it's just the reality. Like, because a person can easily get stuck in a dead-end tech job, I decided to go through multiple jobs with quite short amount of time to explore what type of direction within the analytic field I want to develop. Like, I went from data engineering to business intelligence engineering to data analysis to predictive analytics. This way, I get to practice data science techniques in lots of various forms of business problems to engineering solutions, extracting insights or visualizations, or even building awesome machine learning models. At the end of the day, what companies care about is the business result, that they're spending money on your time and not in the process. So individuals are responsible for taking their time and resources available to develop those skills on their own. And from the personal development prospect, what differentiates you from other candidates on the rest of the job market who all somehow have the similar technical skills on their resume is that how do you present your experience to the interviewer, and what impacts that you can make to the business, and how can your skills and achievement transfer into this job and add value to your company. So those 5 methods all have their own pros and cons. So at the end of the day, it is a matter of the trade-off, your time, your money, and where you're at on your own knowledge base, or the fundamentals who already had when they're starting to pivot into data science. So in the end, I covered 5 ways to learn data science, but the 6th method is the ultimate secret sauce through all of them, which is repetition and persistent. Repetition in practice makes perfect. Like, for example, I started to learn SQL twice from both Coursera and Udemy because I just did not get it in my first time of learning. Then I learned about database technology and SQL in my bootcamp, and then I learned it again in my community college class. And I'm currently taking the engineering courses through my UChicago master degree, which will cover SQL and the database as is required. So with SQL and the database, I can recall that I learned it so many times from my own learning, like my classes, my jobs, to get to the level of where I'm right now. So my point here is that data science is so broad, and there's no guarantee that a job can cover all the skills that I want to learn and desire to practice in the real world. So to stay competitive in the market, or to get to a specific position I want to be hired, I decided to keep on this repetitive learning pattern, or really practice persistently on those skills to get to where I wanted to be in the next level. If you like the content of my video, please subscribe to my channel. There will be more exciting stuff on the way. Thank you.